Heyo, what up? It's Fireborn, and today we are going to be going over a mostly forgotten class in Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, and that is a class that people overlook frequently, yet features some of the most impressive TTKs in the game. And if you've been following the channel, you'll know that today I am covering battle rifles. Battle rifles are one of my favorite weapon choices in the game that most people don't really pay much attention to. Now, when I say battle rifle, most of anybody is going to think back to the TAC-V, or if you have been a player since Modern Warfare 2019 or before, you would know it as the SCAR. And the TAC-V is one of the hardest hitting rifles in the game, and one that people are already kind of picking up for an SMG style, but not really paying much attention to the entire class as a whole. So we're not going to cover specifically the TAC-V, as there's going to be a bunch of videos that are going to cover the TAC-V, as it is probably the most easily adopted one of these. But we are going to cover the other three. So today we are looking at the FTAC Recon, the SO-14, and the Lachmann 7.62. If you watch my streams, you'll know that a lot of these are some of my favorites, and then some of them are statistically really good and are hit or miss depending on what you're doing with them. So first, let's start off with the FTAC. And the FTAC Recon is essentially one of the fastest TTK weapons in the game. Now, with that being said, most people are going to struggle with this thing. Now, this is not my initial build. My initial build is... well, let's go over here and equip it. My initial build is with the Seiken grip on the end. We'll kick over here to the screen so you can actually see some of these builds here. This is the Seiken ZX grip, and this one is very important for a lot of these rifles. The FTAC Recon actually features no barrels that provide true recoil control while maintaining a muzzle attachment. And the muzzles are some of the most important things for these weapons, so we choose to run the muzzle instead of the Bull Rider barrel. So with that being said, let's look at the weapons here a bit. This is the FTAC Recon, and it is, as you'll see, single fire by default, and features a pretty hefty kit. One of the things to note about the battle rifles in the game is when you put them into full auto, you actually lose damage, and they take more bullets to kill. And if you're familiar with how games work that are shooters, more bullets to kill means longer time to kill. Well, unfortunately enough for most people, that would be the case, and that is not specifically the case in Warzone. So when you end up going into full auto, you actually end up gaining a little bit of your RPMs because it is faster than the tap fire tends to be allowing you to do it. Now, if you are an extremely fast clicker on mouse, or if you're an extremely fast trigger finger on controller, obviously, then you can get that same RPMs, but it might be easier, especially if you're fighting close range, just swap it over to full auto. The FTAC Recon is one of the only ones that I also recommend running a 15-round mag on. The other ones can run their default mags and you can be okay, but the 10-round default may be too much for people who may not be as experienced with the battle rifles. Up next, we are going to go over and look at one of my favorites, which is the Lachmann 7.62. Here is the build on that one as well. All of these builds are available in my Gilded, and they have the tunings with them as well. So feel free to check that out in our Gilded. Our Gilded link will be in the description. So this is the Lachmann 7.62. This is one of my favorites right here, as it is a monster when it comes to hits. Now, again, the default mag is 20, so that may be hit or miss for some players. But if you get good with it, this thing is it is a monster. I honestly prefer it over the SCAR, which is rare because I love the SCAR in pretty much every game. But this Lachmann 7.62 has taken the cake for me in battle rifles for the full auto section. We're going to go over to my favorite semi-auto option, which is the SO-14. This is also in the other games as a EBR or the DMR-14. This one is closer to the DMR-14 from Cold War, as it does take AR ammo, whereas the EBR is closer to the Modern Warfare version, which is the sniper rifle ammo, which means you have a lot more rounds with this one. With that being said, this gun excels in semi-auto and likes to punish players who have bad aim, which occasionally can be me. But most of the time, I do pretty decent with it. So I recommend checking out the SO14 if you really want to challenge yourself while still getting a high-risk, high-reward weapon out of it. In full auto, the gun will obviously take out targets pretty quick, and it suffers from pretty much the same thing that all other battle rifles suffer from, which is a slow reload. All of these classes I do recommend running specifically with Commando. Scavenger for the bullets, strong arm for the throws, fast hands for the reload, which is what you're going to need, and high alert just to keep yourself moving. Now, I do believe you could run it with the Warden one with quick fix to get yourself out of some sticky situations as well. But honestly, I do believe that high alert means a little bit more right now than quick fix, as you're not going to want to be specifically right up on people unless you just have to be. These weapons also pair exceptionally well with sniper rifles. Now, if you've been around the channel a long time, you know a personal favorite of mine is the Signal 50. Here's the Signal 50 as well. If you'd like to go more into that, we have another video that I will have showing up right over there. Around in there. You'll see it when it pops up. But that covers some of my other favorite builds, including the Signal 50, which you'll have seen a lot of people actually adopting, especially in my friend circle, and it's spreading. So if you haven't already checked out the Signal 50, I recommend doing so now. Now, with that also being said, the battle rifles are exceptional sniper supports. And I would definitely recommend them if you have been looking for an AR style option that also still packs a punch up close. Now, we're going to look at some of the numbers here, and this is going to help you see why you may want to consider learning and starting to run the battle rifles. Okay. So now we are on sim.gg. This is a extremely useful website if you've been looking for that kind of data crunch. I am a data guy. These videos are generally going to be based around that style data, and this will kind of help you kind of see where things sit. Now, up first on the list, we have the Fennec, and then I have the 4 battle rifles here as well. This website allows you to go through, look at stats like fire rates, ammo counts, sprint speeds, and overall your vertical and horizontal recoil, both visual and actual recoil and stuff like that. But the most important thing that a lot of people really should look at is TTK, or your time to kill. This will show you, as you can see down here, 100 HP, 50 HP, and then 250. 250 is what we're going to be looking at here for the Battle Royale section. And if you're looking for a regular core multiplayer or hardcore or tier 1 now, you can check those as well. This is the Warzone TTK currently. Now you're going to see these are the numbers. The Fennec sitting at 495, and the FTAC Recon and the Lightman 762 both are actually faster at our TTK to the chest than the Fennec, and that's insane. The SO14 sits at 560, and the TAC V sits at 525. If we go to headshots, you'll see that the FTAC and Lightman 762 still outshoot the Fennec, and the SO14 and TAC V are right behind it. And then as soon as you get past the 13 meter mark, which is where most engagements seem to happen for an AR style, is going to be about 10 to 25 is what it feels like for me. Obviously, we need some more data for that. But you'll see that all of the battle rifles now begin excelling exceptionally well. 240 milliseconds all the way up to 315 for the TAC V. So we're comparing these to the RPK. RPK is sitting at 600 milliseconds up close, and towards the end is sitting at about 700. So right now the SO14 actually ties for the RPK at long range, and then the Lightman 762 is a little bit slower, FTAC is a little bit slower, the TAC V and are all a little bit slower than the RPK, which is why I think the battle rifles are excellent sniper supports. So once we get over here, you'll start seeing really the ranges where it excels, all the way up to about 50 meters, which unless you're putting these in single shot, most of these are best 0 to 50 meters. And that right there is perfect sniper support range. Anything past that and you're looking for a sniper anyways. So take advantage of this class, right, of these classes right now. They are exceptionally useful for that all mid-range, and especially if you're a person who doesn't do long range very well, these are going to be one of the things that I can recommend to run as a solo pickup weapon. So if you are currently running the dual pistols, or you're just running a solo pistol that you feel very comfortable with, something like the Basilisk or the Deagle, which have exceptional TTKs up close, you can run these weapons as your primary weapon. You run them full auto for any close quarters engagements where you're going to be running into buildings, or you run them in single shot for any long range engagements that you're hoping to make. They have pretty manageable recoil once you get your builds nailed down, which I'm going to go through here in a second. And they are extremely accurate in single shot. The only thing you're going to suffer on is bullet lead, as most of their bullet velocities are a bit slower than what you're going to be used to. You'll see the muzzle velocity sitting on the FTAC Recon 480. Lightman 762, I think, is sitting at the best at 624. Oh, no, it is the SO14 at 660, and then the TAC V at 660. The FTAC Recon, this thing is miserable to land long shots on, so I consider this one more of a breacher, which is why you'll see mine named as the SOCOM Breacher. Yep, M4 SOCOM Breacher. But these builds are going to be great for helping you kind of hone in the close quarters fights and then still be able to single fire over the range. Now, all of these are built specifically by me for sniper support. There can be modifications that you can take and go in and actually, make these for a little bit longer range, or make them exceptionally close by changing barrels and things like that. But these are all extremely low recoil builds for the battle rifles. With that being said, they still have recoil. Do not expect these to be just laser beams straight out of the box, as that is not what they're made for. The one with the most laser beam kind of accuracy is going to be the TAC V, as it is probably the easiest to control out of all of the battle rifles. And then the second best probably is going to be the Lightman 762 build, as it is also quite exceptional in full auto, especially for these close range engagements like that. But go out, give some of these builds a try. Let me know what you like, as I would love to see some clips by y'all. You can tag me on Twitter at Fireborn with some of your favorite battle rifle clips. And if you have some really awesome ones and you want to share them with us, I will be happy to feature you in a video, and we can talk about the awesome things that you all do. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more off-meta, both videos, shorts, and live streams. We are live daily at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, playing the games, doing the things, living the life, and thank you all for checking it out. I will see you all next time, and until next time, ladies and gentlemen, and everyone else, peace.